Welcome back. CBTHost.com. Actually, going to learn on how to use the offline software and how to run the installation. Now let's go over to our browser and click on the download link for the offline examination. You can click on this download link. Once you click on download, it automatically start downloading. Sorry, my network is bad. I have that already downloaded on my system, so I don't need to re-download it. Once you download it on your system, then you have to install the software. Once you install the software, then that's all. Now let's launch the software. I've already installed it on my system. This is a install version. Amazing. So in case you are hooked with installation, you can actually chat me up or via my WhatsApp number, or you can look for a technician close by to you which can actually install the software for you. Now let's click on start. There is actually a bug that is on the there is just a little bit bug that we're actually facing. So in case you wanted starting your server and you actually have issue with your port number, maybe your port number is not starting, then you click on this system config and change the IP from here directly. So we have the default login password for students, which is 1 to 8, and for the database, you don't need to create the database. Automatically the system, once you launch the software, once you start the server, if you don't have the database, the system will automatically create the database for you, so you don't need to go through stress of doing anything. Your own is just to start the server and stop the server. That's all. Maybe once you want your student to start writing tests, you click on start the server, and once they are done, then you can actually close the software, and that's all. Now let's start the server. Now the server is starting. Let's give it like 3 to 4 minutes for the server can actually start. Once the server starts successfully, for a student to write tests, they have to be connected through the LAN cable. Maybe I don't know how you're going to. Maybe you need to get a technician, a networking technician. They can actually set up a router for you and make your system actually tap from the main server. So the system actually running the software is actually the main server. So you need to get a very good system, a very nice system, so you can actually run the server efficiently. So I think we actually have a little bit issue with this now. Our server stopped. Maybe the port number is being used by another system, but in case maybe the port number is being used by our software and not another thing else, maybe another thing else is not running on the port number, I can actually click on this open admin or open the student link. Then you can actually click on it. Let's actually check what's actually running on that port number. Okay, it's actually our software that is running on the port number, so we don't need to actually change the port number. Well, in case there's a conflict on the port number, you can just come here and change the port number, and that's all. And most of the information to log in as a staff is actually here. That means the access code is 1234 to 126. That is your default access code as a staff. Once you want to log in, you want to create account, it will actually ask you for access code. So we actually put this access code for security issue. So we don't want someone having access to the admin panel on the network and thus the misusing the system. That was actually our main target of locking the admin panel with a access code. Now we don't need all this thing now. Now let's log in as admin. We said our access code is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So in case as an admin you don't have accounts on the system, you can just come here, put your password, clean this access code, and put the new one based on the access code. So all your staff that actually want to log in the admin panel and monitor exam, or to log in to see one or two stuff, so they actually need a login details, their email and their password. That means for the offline, everything is being local, is run on your local server on your system, just like server to client. Now let's log in. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's use the access code. Let's use the wrong access code and see something. You can see invalid access code. So in case you can still update the access code, maybe the access code there is a leakage on the access code, you can come and update the access code here. Automatically the system will pick up the new access code, so that's not an issue. Let's go back to our login interface and log in. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now these are the previous exams I've already created here. So now to write exams using this offline software, there are two rules actually controlling this offline software. All questions must be created on CBTHost.com. That is the main server, because it's the one actually controlling this offline. So on the main server you have access, you have features like you can actually edit questions or import questions for MS Word and do most of your editing on the main server. So once you're on the offline server, you don't actually do any editing of questions. You won't create, you just import the questions. So on the main server on the CBT, that time when I was making video, I also show you guys how to actually export questions from the admin dashboard. Once you click on your quiz, once you are viewing your quiz, you see a section called export questions. So you can actually export your questions for the offline software. So if you have staff, they can actually create multiple accounts for their self, for their usage, and create their questions on the main server. Then once they are done, they will just export the question and give the admin that's actually controlling the offline question. So it make work actually easier for staff and for the ICT team actually controlling the offline software. Now let's create a new test. So the same offline, our time is also measured in seconds, and we have only one attempt. So even though you put two attempts, it's not actually going to work. It's just only one attempt. So a student can actually attempt the quiz only one time. So if you want to attempt it the second time, you just actually go and delete their record manually to allow the student to rewrite the test again. So by default, even though you click this, no student actually seeing the result. So once the students are done with the exam, you actually see the result on on your admin panel. I'll actually show you guys a section, but now let's actually create the exam, the quiz, or the test, or the exam. So we have successfully created one. Let's click on view. Let's import the questions first. So maybe your own question is on the download folder, like this. I have this, so you can just import it. Now let's import the questions. So now we have actually imported the questions successfully. You can preview the questions. Okay, so by default, this student cannot actually write essay for this offline software. Now this is just pure obj. They can actually write, and is filling the blank space. You can see, okay, these are the questions. You can actually preview the questions, the right answer, and everything. Now let's close the preview. So let's import the student. We also have a format of importation of student. In case you are hooked, you can actually check our documentation on the on CBTHost on the main site. You can click here directly. Then you can actually view the guideline for the online software. But in case if you are hooked, you can actually chat me up via my WhatsApp. It take a little bit time because the lists are much, so the server is actually processing. So this software is totally running offline, so you don't actually need internet service to run this software offline. Just your networking skills, the software, that's all. Yeah, it was successful. Let's view student for the test. You can see these are the number of students we have for the test. 100 students actually assigned to this test. So you assign your student to a specific test. Now let's go home. Now let's try and write the test as a let's publish the test. So now we have actually published the test successfully for offline. So once you're on this page, as students actually log in to write the test, so you can actually see them. Maybe you have maybe you want to actually stop the test for all the students, can actually force submit for everybody at once. So you actually have full control over the test. Now let's log in as a student. Let me log out. Now let me go back to my interface. So these are most of the log, like as the server is running in this server console. You will see most of the log, maybe most of the incoming requests as students actually coming. So most of the log actually written here. Maybe you have an error, you can actually copy the log and also get back to me on WhatsApp. So you can actually use the log to actually understand what's your error. Now let's click on open student panel from this. So you are supposed to be actually connected to a network before, so that the student can actually access this link. So you need a network engineer. Maybe you need a wire cable, or I don't know how you actually want to connect. Maybe either a wireless connection, but you actually need a network engineer. Maybe you get a computer engineer to actually set up the LAN network so that the student can actually view, can actually write the test via the LAN network. FT. This is one of the test ID that I actually uploaded. Let me use default password 128. So this student has actually completed this test. These are the previous tests or exam that students have actually written. Meanwhile, this is actually the new one I created, and I actually imported the student. Now let's start the test or the exam. You can see you have 3,000 seconds to actually complete the exams. Let's wait, the question is loading. So can be answering the questions. Let's answer the questions randomly. Please, for now our system don't actually support essay future for offline tests, only for online tests. So you can just write OBA direct, so the system can actually grade this successfully. Once the student is done, you can just click on submit the exam. So the student actually answered 26 questions. These are the total questions for the test, and the student has actually submitted the test or the exam already, and you can see completed general test. Now let's actually log in the admin panel. Let's view the test result of that particular student, or of the student that actually wrote the test or the exam. Let's view result. You can see this student FT 001, he actually scored 31. So this is actually the result. So from here you can actually, so on the offline software, the student actually identify with their test ID, like their student ID or their test ID. That's what student actually identify with. So maybe after you are done with the test, you can actually export the result as Excel. From there you can actually use the result and do most of your analysis. Maybe you want to import it on your school portal, or you want to do some a little bit analysis, and you can actually use the result and do the analysis. Thank you very much for